My father has never been close to me. It's no secret he's always been closer to my brother. It's because he never really wanted a girl. Well, the truth is, I tell him, hey dad, I'm gonna be getting married in like a month from now. I want to invite you. But when I told him the dates, he tells me, oh no, he can't come because him and my brother have a fishing trip that weekend. Can you believe that they would just go fishing down the street, something they do all the time, instead of coming to my wedding? So he tells me that I should change the date. So you know what? I told him this. For many years of my life, I had to live under my brother's shadows, and there was nothing I could do about it. But for the past few years, I thought that I'd finally gotten out of it and left behind everything. I finally made a life of my own without him interfering in it, but I was wrong. I also can't only blame him because what my dad has done is arguably worse. This has put me in a really bad place as I don't know how to move forward. Let me give you context so that I can help. Well, I'm Allie, and I'm about to get married in less than 2 months. I was really happy about it until I spoke to my father yesterday, who told me that he would not be able to make it. I was very confused and asked him why he would even think about missing such a special day. When he told me the reason, I almost slapped myself because I thought that it was a nightmare. To understand fully, I need to take you a bit back. I grew up with my dad and my brother, who are 2 years older than me. I was told about this, I don't remember it, but father was pretty upset when I turned out to be a girl. I guess he wanted to have 2 boys, and I assumed that because he loved Alex from the second he stepped into this world. For my dad, everything Alex did was amazing. He was the perfect child a man could have. I understand when someone gets pregnant, the parents have an expectation of the gender they want. Everyone has that, and sometimes some parents are disappointed for a millisecond. But most people get over it, as no matter what they get, the child is still theirs and they love it. But in my case, things didn't really work that way. Firstly, let me make something clear. My dad doesn't hate me or not care about me, even though right now I'm doubting if he actually cares about me or not. He did take care of me and did everything in his power to give me a good life. But it was also making me clear that he didn't like me as much as my brother. Sometimes it felt like he only took care of me because it was an obligation, and he would have just left me if he could. He never said anything like this to my face, but it did feel like that growing up a lot, especially after mother passed away when I was just 10 years of age. By that time, my parents were not very close because of things that happened. Too long and personal of a story to explain it here, but towards the last years of her life, mother was not treated well by him. Once again, he did not do anything super bad, but he did not really act like he loved her or even cared about her. He just tolerated her because for some reason he did not want to divorce her. I think that he actually still loved her, but because of the situation he kept it inside and never showed it. I think that because when she passed away, he was the most heartbroken out of all of us. Mom's death even made him a bit cold. I think that I already explained that father did not really care about me that much, and after mother passed, it just got worse and worse. He starts dedicating all his time, energy, and love to my brother, who was just a jerk to me. Also, it did not help that he was better than me at everything, and it just kind of proved the point that father had made up his mind. I like to believe that he wanted a son and was disappointed when he had me, but he has never said that to me at all. He had never said anything like that to my face, and even when I complained, he refused to accept that he loved Alex way more than me. But no matter how much he tried to lie, it was clear to both me and Alex that father cared a lot about him. For some reason, most of our family liked Alex way more than me, and he took full advantage. He never treated me like a sister and always tried to make me feel small and land me in trouble. Even though I wanted him to be my brother, he for some reason never liked me and always bullied me. Alex pretended to be a kind person in front of everyone, so nobody doubted him ever. He maintained the loving, kind son image in front of Dad and the rest of the family, so that he always got their attention and so that everyone believed him. So, when he did something and pushed the blame on me, everyone easily believed him. And I got punished. It didn't matter how much I cried and begged that it was not me. Nobody listened. If I tried to expose him, he would just make my life worse. Not that anybody would believe me when I tried either. He was the perfect son of the family who could do no wrong. Growing up, he got me in a lot of trouble and broke up a lot of my relationships. And every time I asked him why he did all of this, he just smiled and said because it was fun. He just hated me for no reason at all. I think at this point you're not going to be surprised when I tell you that I did not have a good relationship with my brother ever. In fact, I hate Alex, and I always try to avoid meeting him whenever I can. But I can't say the same for my father, as even though he was biased, he still cared about me and took care of me. He made a lot of mistakes, but he's still the only parent I've ever had, and the only other person in my family who I care about except for my uncle. I love my unc because he's the only one who's always loved and supported me. But the problem with that is he lives far away and rarely comes to family things. I'll kid you not. My life only got better after my brother moved away 9 years ago. He moved to another state for work and has lived there ever since. I can't tell you how much I loved the company that dragged him there and has kept him there to this day. I'm not even kidding. I'll keep them afloat and work for free if the need arises to help that company. So Alex moved away, and it was like the sun rose for the first time. I could hear birds chirp and children laugh, and the devil had left my home and gone away. He was someone else's problem now, and without him, a father and the family were very kind to me, and my life was going great. I only had to tolerate him once or twice a year, which was nothing close to what I was going through before. Now that you know everything, let me come to the actual problem. For the past 5 years, I've been dating a man, Sid, who I got engaged to last year. We threw an engagement party a month later, and I planned it so that even my brother could make it. No matter how much I hated him, I wanted to include him because I believed that he had it in him to change or at least not act like a jerk in my own party. But I had underestimated him. My fiancé Sid was warning me, but I still asked Alex to come and he did. He then gave me backhanded compliments and even outright insulted me in front of my guest, but made it look like he was just joking between us siblings. He even brought up my ex-boyfriends, and I was very uncomfortable. It got to a point where I had to physically block his mount while laughing and asked him to shut up. Obviously, I could not do anything then, and all I could do was regret inviting him to the party. The thing was, for the past years, he had not pulled anything like this towards me and had acted like a distant relative who did not have much interest in me. But right at that moment, I decided that I was done with him and that there was no way that he was coming to the wedding no matter what. There was a few months where Alex had never taken a break throughout all these years, which meant that he always was just busy during this time. So I made sure that our wedding date would fall somewhere there, and even if this meant we would have to rush it a bit. I also decided not to invite him until the last minute, and I have still not seen him, given him an invite. I was planning to only give him the invite about a month before the actual wedding. See, I was really happy even though I had to do a lot of work in a very short time. Also, Sid is in on it too, and didn't want Alex there. For the past few days, I was very happy as a lot of preparation had been completed. But then Dad called me yesterday to tell me something absurd. He told me that I need to change the wedding dates, as he was not going to make it and so could not my brother. When I asked him why, he tells me that Alex had planned a fishing trip with him for a week, and my wedding fell right on the second day of the fishing trip, and they could not make it. So he wanted me to move the wedding by a week so that both of them could make it. I couldn't believe what he was even talking about. I asked him if he had lost his darn marbles. He told me he was perfectly fine and it was a request from both of them. I told him to just cancel the trip and come to the wedding. He then said that Alex rarely asked anything from him and this was a request he made without knowing anything about the wedding. Father blamed me for not telling me, and Alex had booked everything. So they were going no matter what, and he then told me it would not be a big deal to move the wedding just a week so that both of them could come. Then he tells me that he had some work and he cut the call. Can you believe it? I'm pretty sure that Alex found out about the wedding and is just taking his revenge because I didn't want him there. He probably wants to show me how much control he truly has. So this is where I'm at. My fiancé, well, he does not know what to do here either. What do? I need my father there, who's not going to agree to come without Alex. but I would rather not get married than have Alex there. Please help me. What do I do? Update number 1. Hey guys, it's me, and just like you guessed it, I'm back with yet another update. I'm genuinely grateful for everybody who tried to help and give me suggestions. It's been 2 weeks since my last update, and the preparation for the wedding is going well. No, there was never a doubt in my mind that I was going to shift the wedding date. That was never the question I asked. All I asked was, what do I do? I knew that asking my father to come by canceling the fishing trip would mean talking to Alex and begging him to come to my wedding instead of the trip. I'd literally have to beg the person who I had to come to the wedding and ruin my special day. So the answer was clear in my head. It's just that I did not want to have a wedding without my father there to support me. No matter how he is my dad. I wanted him there to walk me down the aisles. I think I already explained that he's one of the family members who cares about me. Even if it's less than Alex, also he's my dad. No matter how he treated me, I wanted him to be one of my people at the wedding. I saw a lot of people suggesting that I just tell him to choose, and if he chose to go on the fishing trip, then just cut him off at the wedding. Well, I know for sure that if I give him a choice, he's just gonna go on the trip, while making it look like I was excluding him and Alex. This would just conjure up new and unwanted issues. Many of you found it absurd that a father could act like that and choose a small trip over a whole wedding. But that's my dad. He would choose a lot less when it comes to Alex, but I also understand that this is crossing a point. A lot of people also pointed out how I was not mad at my father at all and was blaming my only brother. Well, it did hurt me. I was mad, but I didn't want to show it so that I could get more suggestions instead of just people saying, cut him off and get married. Now let me come to what actually happened. So I spent a week thinking about what I could do to get out of this and get married happily with my father on my side. But no matter how much I thought about it, it looked less and less possible to do that without inviting Alex or begging him to come. I then spoke with my fiancé, who told me that he was with me no matter what I decided. Then I made a decision to try one last time to talk to Dad in person and explain to him why he needed to come to my wedding. I know this should be clear to him, and I did not have to explain it to him, but I wanted to try, and I did. Well, a few days ago, I went to my dad and had a chat with him. I told him that he needed to let my brother go on the trip alone and come to the wedding. He told me that he was not going to betray his son and that, well, was his wish, and that he could not back out. It was making me mad, but I tried to stay calm and begged him that this was one day in my entire life when I needed him more, and he could please my brother any other day. Then my father starts talking about how much he cares about us both. And guys, at this point, I lost it. I got mad and screamed at him about how every time he had taken Alex's side, I had never once gotten mad at him. But this was my wedding, and I wanted him there. With tears in my eyes, I told him that if he were my father, he would understand how important this is and be there for me. Dad then told me that he would love to be there, but he already promised Alex that if I moved the wedding, they both could make it. I then told him that I didn't want my brother there and that I hate him. I also explained how he was trying to control my life by making me change the date. Dad refused to believe this and asked me to calm down. When I asked him for the last time, he told me that his son was the highest priority to him, so I just left. You guys were right. This person is not my father. A father would never do this to their child. I'm done asking him. Now I'm going to do something that's going to make him regret choosing Alex over me. Update number 2. Hey guys, it's been over a week and my wedding is about a month away. Preparing for a wedding is tough, and it's especially tough if you have a family like mine. Don't worry, I'm not going to bow down to my brother or father and have actually come up with a crazy plan that's going to make Dad very mad. So, after my last update, I was pretty angry with Father and what he told me and how he could not even please me for one day. That's when I realized that he never really loved me, as I had always believed. I knew he did not care that much, but I always thought that he did a little, but this proved he didn't. I talked it over with my fiancé Sid, who asked me to only make a decision after my anger calmed down. The next day we spoke, and I was genuinely done with both of them. I decided that I was going to cut off both Alex and Dad. Sid was happy with that decision, as he disliked both of them because of how they treated me. Then me and Sid came up with a plan because I was not going to just let Dad skip my wedding without there being some consequences for him. Also, I believe this way, he might get mad at Alex for taking him fishing, and he actually may regret not coming to the wedding. But nothing he does is going to work because I genuinely am done with him. Can you believe that he called me to emotionally blackmail me into shifting the wedding for him? I told him that I was going to think about it because at that point, my plan was not fully formed. But before I explain to you guys what my plan is, I have to explain something that I really didn't want to put on the internet. I have to explain what happened between my mom, dad, and my uncle. It's a long story, but I'll keep it short. If you remember, I mentioned that for the last few years before Mother passed, Dad and she did not have a good relationship. Also, I mentioned that my uncle did not mix with the family. Well, both of those things happened because of the same reason. Uncle Jordan is the younger brother of my dad. I think I already mentioned that he's the only family member who loves and cares about me. See, Uncle Jordan has been sort of cut off from the family because of something that happened long ago. And rarely anybody talks about him or what happened. When I was about 6 to 8 years old, Dad for some reason starts doubting that Mom was cheating on him. Since she was very close with Uncle Jordan, he suspected that Uncle was the one sleeping with Mom and tried very hard to find the evidence. But except for the fact that they were very close, he could not find anything. But for some reason, he was convinced of the fact that Mother was cheating, so he tried to make them admit it in front of the whole family. But neither Mom nor Uncle admitted that they were cheating and that they were telling the whole entirety of the truth. Yep, that's right. Everyone thought that it was an absurd thing for Dad to do, but he was convinced. So he asked Uncle to stop seeing Mom or us completely, but Uncle refused to do that. He more than anything loved me and also cared about Mom, so he did not agree. This created a bit of a suspicion, and my dad ran with it. He cut him off and made sure that the entire family cut him off too. Since most people listened to Father, Uncle was slowly cut off. Still, a few family members stayed in contact, but he stopped coming to family functions. The last thing he came to was Mom's funeral. My dad hates him as he believes Uncle Jordan is a big reason behind him getting mad at Mom and her passing away before he realized his mistake. Well, obviously they did not cheat on my dad. He was stupid for believing it, and I've been in contact with my uncle for a long time, as I love him. I even tried to invite him to my engagement, but Dad and most of the family made it clear that they were not coming, so I had to cancel. I think at this point you figured out my plan, right? Yes, I've already asked Uncle Jordan to walk me down the aisle after explaining what happened, and he said yes. Well, then I straight up told him that I would be changing the date, and he was happy too. Now we'll wait and see what happens, because Father is really going to hate this. Update number 3. This is the final update of the story. Hey guys, it's been 2 months since my last update, and you're not gonna believe what ended up happening. I promise you, but first I got married and had a great honeymoon. The day of the marriage was, well, you will see how it was, so let me just get into that. After I told my father that I was going to change the dates, I didn't do anything and just focused on planning a good wedding. I told other family members that he would be coming for a short time, and then the day of the wedding arrived. I kept Uncle Jordan a secret from everyone as I wanted to surprise them. When he came out with me to walk me down the aisle, more people were shocked to see him than me in a stunning wedding dress. I could have worn jeans, and my relatives would have had the same reaction. They could not believe what was going on, but fortunately nobody objected in any way. They just gasped, kept quiet, and let the marriage happen. As soon as we got married, I asked for a picture my friend took of my uncle walking me down the aisle and sent it to my father and brother. After that, my dad was calling non-stop, but I didn't take the call. I knew that he was mad, and that was the whole point of this. But I also did this because my uncle was like my father after my actual dad. Obviously, many of the family members were not happy with me either, and told me that they expected better. I told them that I didn't care about what they thought. A few hours later, Dad and my brother crashed the after party. I was genuinely not expecting that. Father was beyond irate and asked me what I had done. I gave him the real answer, that I was done with him, and Uncle was the only father that was in my life now. Father refused to take this answer and told me that I had done this to get his attention. I told him now I did not care about his attention, and I'm cutting him off, and my brother. Well, this made him mad, and Dad starts insulting me nonstop, and he even starts insulting Mom for making me like this. Uncle tried to calm him down, but he was sizzling, and asked him to apologize to me instead of insulting me. Dad refused, and even insulted Uncle for, quote, crossing a line. My husband later tells me that he was very close to punching my dad, but he didn't have to. Uncle Jordan asked him to stop and threatened that if he didn't, he would never be able to hear what he was about to say. Dad didn't even listen, so Uncle tells everyone something that he's been hiding for a long time. I kid you not, even I had to sit to process this because, wow. He first apologized to me and my mom and said that, well, they never even cheated on my dad. The truth was, Mom and Uncle Jordan were lovers way before Mom met Father. But unluckily for them, Mom was forced by her family to marry his brother, as no one in both families had any idea about their relationship anyways, and since Uncle was young and earned nothing, he could not compete with Dad, and because of family pressure, Mother married him. But there was a problem before they got married, see. Mother had gotten pregnant with Uncle's kid, and Mother had forced him to promise to never tell anyone anything about their relationship. Uncle tried a lot, but it could not stop her from getting married, and neither could tell the truth because of the promise to Mom. Everyone, including Dad, assumed that the kid was his, but it turned out that Alex, was Uncle Jordan's son. At this point, even I looked at Uncle with angry eyes because I could not believe it. Everybody was stunned. Uncle was in tears, and he looked at me and said that he and my mom never had any relations after she got married. He loved her. She loved him, but they never cheated. This is also why Uncle never got married, because the person he loved, she's dead. So in short, Dad's instinct was right. He got no proof because there wasn't any. All of this was so much to take in that I had not even registered that my uncle had just said that the only child my dad has is me, and that the son he loves so dearly is not even his own flesh and blood. As soon as I realized that, I looked at my father, and I could see him think very hard about all this. No matter how much he tried, he knew that my uncle was telling the truth. I thought he would punch Uncle, but he just looked at me, and tears fell from his eyes, and he said, "He's sorry." He stormed out of the room, and my brother ran after him screaming that this can't be true. And after that, my uncle left. This kind of killed the party vibe, and I thought about this during our honeymoon. After my honeymoon, Alex calls me up and asks me to help convince Father as he had cut him off. Dad could not even look at him, apparently, and I refused to help. I told him to leave me the hell alone. I cut him off. A few days later, Father calls, and I told him that I wasn't his daughter either, and I cut him off too. At this point, the only person I'm in contact with is Uncle, who I'm still a bit mad at, but I'll let it pass. He's my only family I have left, you know. This is everything that happened. I can't believe it myself still, and I've decided to move on with my life now, and I hope my mother is at peace. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here, so I hope you enjoyed today's video. And anybody who's new to the channel, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the drama for today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because I have something special to tell you. On December 25th, Christmas Day, I'm going to be releasing an epic story. It's going to be a Christmas Day special, and yes, the story is about an insane in-law drama, and it's on Christmas Day, so you won't believe what they're up to with Santa. Don't miss this one. Hit that subscribe button, guys. I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you on December 25th, sharp. Have a good one, and remember, of course, it's cool to be kind. Peace.